Hey guys, I promised a tutorial on a men's cut for your stay at home, and my lovely husband is definitely in need of a haircut, and thankfully that is my profession and I can help him out. It's going to be a very basic cut, but I will show you how to fade it and how to blend the top. So we can go with further questions from there, and I'll be happy to address that for you. But I hope everybody is staying healthy and well, and we're gonna get going. I'll tell you the tools you need and what to do. So bear with me. This video thing is not my professional thing, but I'm excited to do it, and thankfully I have a really good model. So okay, first thing, I know you're at home. Grab a chair. Thankfully, I do have a stylish chair at my house because I've always cut my kids' and husband's hair since I stopped doing hair. I was a hairstylist for over 10 years in Columbus, Ohio at a fabulous salon. And I stopped doing it because of staying home with my kids and moving out of state. But a regular chair will work, so you can grab that. I would recommend grabbing a towel because the hair gets itchy once you start to let it go. I'm going to place a cape around my model husband here. We're going to get going. So generally, if I were teaching a men's cut, I would tell my students to go ahead and observe all around what you're working with and take a look at it. And place your son or your husband in front of a mirror so you can see what you're doing. We came in our bedroom in front of our long mirror to go ahead and do this video so you can kind of see that. My first recommendation getting started, feel the shape of their head. It's really important to know, look down for me, honey, to know what you're working with when you're clippering, because if you're clippering, you want to know how high to go up. And if you look at this, you don't want to go up higher than the round of the head with your clippers. You're then going to be scissor cutting it. If you go up higher than the round of their head, it's going to cut the shape off a little bit more and not have a good balance to it. So it's really important just to be aware of that. Also, I know a lot of people that are probably really upset that they can't get to their hairstylist because they maybe have crazy cowlicks, which cause problems. That's why you go to your hairstylist, because they know your hair. So go ahead, ask your husband or your boyfriend or your child, or obviously look at them and observe if they have cowlicks, whorls. For us middle-aged people, you want to make sure you check for the receding hairline going on. So that's important to be aware of, because if you come in here and cut all that off, it's going to be way too short and they're going to be really sad. And if they have to get on a conference call right now, they probably still can't wear a hat, and you want them to feel as good as they can going on a video call or whatever, just because we all need to feel our best even through this challenging time. So be aware of that. Those are spots that you're going to want to keep length. I'll go over that, but it's always good to get an observation of what you're working with first. So that is my recommendation there.
I'm just glad that I have a round head, not a blockhead. That's what I always thought you said I was. So.
Well, I don't know about that one. Dad jokes. Okay, so clippers. We're going to go over that. You're going to need a set of clippers. And most sets of clippers come with this little knob here. It opens and closes. I don't know if you can see that. Open and close. So I always start with them open. That means it's longer. Closing it makes it shorter, the blade's tighter, okay? So we're gonna put a guard on and go from there. It's important to choose your longest guard first, because you can always take more off. You cannot add more hair on. And you have to live with this person for who knows how long. So really important. I always start with a number 3. My husband usually wears it pretty short, but this is a number 3 guard, and you're going to clip it onto your clippers, just like so. And you can see now it's long. So this is a 3.5, and now we're a 3, if that makes sense. So if you're blending, you've got your 3, and then 3.5. So we're gonna go from there. Okay, I'm gonna turn his head here so you can get a better view. I always start at the top, at the round of the head, and go across. And then we'll move our guard shorter and shorter as we go. That way, if you start longer and go shorter, you're not messing up and going too short from the beginning, if that makes sense. If you start short, then you can't go back. So we're gonna go longer to shorter and go from there. So that is a tip from a professional, and I think it'll help you out. So let's get going. Long side. You're gonna come in right at the top of the head here where it starts to go out, okay? This is the round. You're gonna come in and you want to press against the head. You don't have to be too rough, and go straight up. Just like this, okay? You don't wanna do too much rocking or anything like that. Just get a good view of this. And go straight up till it leaves the plane of the head. And again, straight up. And you're just gonna continue to do that all the way around the head. You can see it leaves right at the round of the head. And that will help with blending as well. You can see how I'm not like going over the round of the head. If you do that, it's just not gonna create the best shape that you're wanting to create in a men's cut. So straight up. And that is important. Men's cuts are meant to be more square. You don't want them to be rounded. You want to create a nice square, masculine look with them. So it's always important to keep that in mind. That's our overall goal and shape with it. So we did that round. I'm going to take my clippers. I had them open, and I'm going to close them and just go back like halfway into that section and do a round around that just to get a little bit tighter. So this is how you get a really clean fade. Here we go. So we'll go back around. You don't go up as high because you want that length to remain there. But you're just getting it a little bit shorter so you have a very gradual fade. Turn here. So I know barber cuts are really big right now. Not a barber, hairstylist. We're not trained in the actual barbering techniques, but I think hairstylists can do really good men's haircuts and kids' haircuts as well. We're more trained in women's cuts, but you at home can do this and be nice to the person cutting your hair, because they might be nervous or they might be really excited to get in there and do it. Okay, so now I switched to my number 2 guard and I have it open. So we're gonna go in underneath that last section I cut and do another ring around. So you see how I'm underneath that, coming up, following that ring around, just underneath it to blend it. You're getting a tighter look there. I think a lot of hairstylists are probably really missing that right now. So if you have a hairstylist and you can, try and support them in any way. Make sure you go back to them. But believe me, they are missing not being able to cut your hair. But all we can do right now is grow it out or do home haircuts and help each other out. Nobody planned on a worldwide epidemic. So if you can see here, turn you again that way, coming across. So his first line is right here. I'm coming in right underneath it. Jordan wears a pretty conservative business style look. Sometimes we keep the top longer and he swoops it. Sometimes he likes to spike it. I like when he kind of wears it over, but it just kind of depends on weather and what we have time for as well. So two closed, coming around. Again, just straight up halfway into that section. So, like that. And you can see how we're getting a nice fade going on. So I'm going to take my 2 guard and go down to my 1 guard. I'm going to take it and go ahead and open it up just like that. And we're going to do this last section here. Straight up. This hair's a little thicker right there, so it's going to take a few times to go through. And it's long. I don't know when the last time was we cut your hair. But,
It's been a while.
I know. You seem to always be the last one to get a haircut.
Well, I plan on getting it before the NCAA tournament and going to Florida.
Oh yeah, that got canceled.
And then that got canceled. And then everything got canceled.
Yeah, life got canceled. So if you can see like that part right there, I'm going to go through with my 1 guard right here and just clean that up. Because that's still kind of the front of the cut. And you want that to look nice and clean. So go ahead and do that. And follow it down. So, kind of funny story. Me and Jordan kind of met. I wrecked my car. And he came in to get a haircut with me then after that. And let me tell you, that was the worst experience ever, cutting his hair. Because I was not expecting it. He walked into my salon, and usually it's by appointment. I'd happened to have a lunch break marked out for like 30 minutes. I ran to the Kroger to get something to eat, and I walked back in, and my manager was like, "You have somebody here that wants to get their hair cut." And I was like, "What?" I looked up, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's the guy from Enterprise." And I thought he was cute. And I was like, oh, I started sweating, getting really hot and nervous. And I'll never forget it. I ran back to the back break room. A lot of my coworkers were having lunch, and I slammed the door. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I need a mint. Because I was worried about being up close to him, cutting his hair. And I was always very professional at work, and I did not like the idea of doing somebody's hair that I found attractive. And I was 22, it was so young. But it was cute. I cut his hair. It was like 21 questions. He drilled me with questions. It was exhausting. And usually I always gave a really good, relaxing shampoo to my clients. I couldn't do it with him. I was just like, get out. Like, because I couldn't focus on being professional. I was trying to be, but it was a lot of pressure. So I was giving him my business cards and asking him for referrals, and he made sure he asked if my number was on there, and I got what he was getting at. He wasn't asking how to book another appointment. He was asking for my cell phone number. So I remember grabbing a pen and just scribbling my phone number on the back of the pen and really just shoving him out the door, because I didn't know what to think. I just wanted him to leave because I was trying to work. And anyways, he texted me, I think that day. You didn't even wait. Didn't even wait like 3 days, like people say. You texted me right away and asked if you could call me in a couple of days, and that you loved your haircut. And I don't think you paid for a haircut since.
Yeah.
So
The
it's
feeling was mutual when I walked into your salon about being hot and sweaty when I rolled in there and realized it wasn't like a Great Clips and there was like flush chairs and lemonade, and I'm like, why am I here right now?
You came to get a date, not a haircut.
Sure did. I paid for a date and not a haircut too.
Hey. But anyways, that's I don't know. Every time I cut his hair, I always think about that because, man, that was just something else. But basically, I cut his hair and we went on a few dates and we were engaged 5 months later. It was pretty quick. So that's a little bit of our story. Part of it started. Part of it started with your haircut and me wrecking my car. Now we'll be married 10 years in September and 2 kids. But okay, so I'm going around, if you can see this, following it all the way through. And still straight on the head. You want to come in. Let's get this a little closer so you can really see my clippers here. You want to come in straight on and up. You can see that. And that's how you're going to remove the hair. You don't want to be digging too much. And like around the ear, most people's ears, the cartilage is pretty loose. You just tuck their ear down. I mean, you're really not going to hurt them unless they're super sensitive. And you just come in and get that nice and clean. Up and around it. Don't be too scared. Okay. So that was the long. We're going to go short really fast through the bottom. And this is with the one guard. All the way back through. Just on the very bottom to really get it nice and clean. So like 1/4 of an inch away around. And that's just going to give you a cleaner, more polished look. You may get something off and you may not. Some people's hairlines, like, they just don't have a whole lot. But you can see how we're getting a really nice blend there. And pull it this way. We need a cameraman. Okay, so this way. So you can see coming in the nape, getting that nice and clean. And then 1/4 of the way through, all the way up, just like that. And it's not a rock, it's in and then straight out. Move the ear, come in and up. And move it again. Sometimes that's hard to get. You may have to use your edgers right there. But I like to, even on like the men's hairline right there, go in just slightly to get that cleaner right in the very front. I think it looks really nice and sharp. So we've got really nice blend on the bottom all the way to the top, but we started from the top to the bottom. That's my recommendation to really get a good clean line. Yeah, thank you. And not risk taking it too short and then your kid or husband being upset, because if you start the longest, you can always go shorter. So that's a good rule of thumb to continue to follow. So, okay, so now warm water in because I was thinking of him, but go ahead and spray the top. I don't recommend spraying the bottom before you clipper cut. I think it's just harder to get your clippers through. So dry, and then scissor cut wet. So spray it down, warm water. Always have a towel nearby in case it gets in their eyes. I always handed my client a towel or protected their eyes from that because sometimes it'll drip. But you want to evenly saturate the top. That way your porosity is the same. And a key thing to keep in mind when you wet the hair, once it dries, it will shrink. So make sure you're keeping that in mind when you're cutting the hair, because if you go too short, it's going to shrink even more once it dries. So be very mindful of that. So spray, get even porosity all over with the spray. Even application. I always split the top into a few sections and makes it really simple. You divide and conquer, but you always be mindful of the style. I know a lot of kids and adults are wearing like the flipped over, like shorter to longer with the hard part. Jordan doesn't wear that, but when you do that, you can still section it like that style and cut from there. So you'll be able to use that guide. So we're gonna take the hair, comb it all forward, just like this. And then again, turn your head to the side. You can see where the round of the head is, okay? It starts to peak right up here, if you can see that. So take that, yeah, here we go. Okay, so see how it goes round right here? We've got that section. I'm gonna comb this section down, okay? We're gonna do that all the way around the head. And then on the other side. Down. Okay. And you want to be mindful. Can you turn to the back? Maybe all the way. Okay. So some people have, there you go. So this is his, the back of the head. Some people have really strong cowlicks. Jordan does not. They have like whorls in the back of their head. If they do, you want to make sure you leave the hair around that longer. If you cut it too short, it will stick straight up. Your kids will be really mad at you. So keep that in mind. That's something to be very mindful of. And again, with the hairline up front, if you're dealing with like a tad bit of a receding hairline. So that's our section all the way through. Take it down again. Okay, so we're gonna come up, and then I start in the back. There we go. Grab my scissors here. Okay. And take this section here and this section and bring them together. I want our length. I'm gonna be taking off like, probably like 3/4 of an inch. Not a ton.
I want it shorter this time.
You want it really short? Okay.
Yeah.
He wants it really short. So I'm gonna take off a good full inch. So you can see here in the cut, come and take off a full inch. So I'm doing that on the horizontal section here, and this is gonna be creating my guide. And it's right at the top of his head. But I always do that section, comb it down and blend it with, put your head up, blend it with that section right there right away, just to check the length of it with the sides. And you'll be able to see your guide right in there. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. If you want to see this. Okay. We're gonna go straight up. You can come up here. Okay. So we've got our entire front section. We're gonna do horizontally across. And you have your guide from the first section you just cut. You're gonna take small, like 1/8 of an inch sections. This is where it's hard, but you can see your guide, your section, and then you pull the longer pieces back. You put your fingers in with the comb, and you see that guide, and you cut it to the guide. Make sure you're not overextending or underextending. You're straight up from the haircut. And that's going to make sure you get a good even haircut. So you're going to continue doing that all the way up the head. And we're going to go to about right here, and then we're going to start overextending so we save length around the peaks. So continue. Just like that. So keep taking your guide all the way forward. Small section and bring it back. Take another section. Can you see that? Keep clean lines and partings. That way you don't get lost in your haircut. Bring the section to your guide and continue forward. Just like that. And I'll speed this part up in the cut.
I mean, when you edit this video, it could be like Bob Vila when I looked up on how to build a deck, and then they put like 3 screws in the post in, and then they fast forward it, and the next thing you know, you're like, there's your deck, and I'm like, but what happened to all the rest of this stuff?
Yeah, that's annoying. Everybody says they learn things from YouTube. Not.
I'm like, wait a minute, that thing just, there was like a tree right there 5 seconds ago, now the tree's missing, and there's a deck there, and you just showed me like 3 steps. Sweet.
I came all the way up to here, and we're gonna go ahead and be mindful of his like just slight receding hairline. We don't want to cut that too short and bring it all the way back, or else he would look bald. So I did horizontal. Now I'm gonna do, we're still keeping this section down at the roll of the head, but I'm gonna take the section that I had been working with. If you can see that, turn it down here. Okay, so you see how I've got this section here, and this is a lot longer. I'm gonna come in and I'm going to curve my fingers and not take all that length off. I'm going to overextend it. That way we preserve some of the length around the hairline, because he's got hair here but none here. So if we cut that short and the same length here, it's not going to look even. It's going to look like it's not even. So we got to keep the length longer on those sides. So that should help you out. Again, clean sections here, using your guide, and then overextending, just giving a little extra length. You can always go shorter, so just keep that in mind.
As we talk in the sales world, you can always lower your price.
Oh, is that the same? I'll never forget when I was assisting. People would get mad, like, well, is it the same price for a trim as it is a haircut? And the guy that I was assisting was like, you're not paying me to cut your hair, you're paying me to keep your hair on your head. I thought that was a good one. And that's true. If you don't want it all cut off, you're trusting someone to do the right amount. So vertical right through the front section to preserve that length on those peaks and valleys there. can see how I'm being very mindful of that. And it's even everywhere with a slight extension in the very front. One more tiny section, still keeping that down. And this is a professional haircut, not just like going and getting it clipped and clippers in the top. It's meant to look clean and crisp and professional. So that's why it takes a little bit more time. There's more precision to it. If your kids at home don't want to be that patient, use your clippers and scissors and I guess do it quick. But this is for a general guideline, and if your husband is still needing, or spouse or whatever, is still needing a good crisp haircut because they're going to work because it's essential, or they're doing conference calls and they still want it to look good, or you're home and it just feels good to feel normal and look normal. And it's important to every day do the things that make you feel comfortable even in this uncertainty. And so I get up and do my makeup every day. I learned that when I started staying home with my kids. One thing that I just have always been in the habit of is getting up, putting my contacts in, brushing teeth, and putting on some makeup. Even if my hair gets thrown in a ponytail, I still feel good just doing the things that like have always made me feel most comfortable. So that's why, if your spouse or whoever needs just a good haircut, might make them just feel better, more like themselves in this world that we're having a hard time recognizing right now. So that's why it's important. Okay, so we've got this section. I'm just going to make sure it adds up here. A little bit extra length. Okay, so your whole horizontal section here that we just cut, a way to cross-check that, which is to make sure you didn't miss any pieces as you were going across and it didn't get uneven, is to go back the opposite way and check it vertical then. So you just come in, check with your fingers. If you find a piece that's too long, you just go in and cut that out. I like to keep a little bit of, not like long pieces, but a little bit of like a jagged edge to it, just because I think it just doesn't look as, I just like the, I guess more of the point cut look and not too much perfection. But there's a difference in blending and an intended cut that way. So it's a good way to cross-reference yourself and make sure you did it right. All right, so we did the bulk of that. Now it's time to blend the top to the bottom. We've got our middle section here, and you can see that it's right at the round of the head. You're going to come in here and I want to make sure you see this. You're going to take vertical sections straight out and blend the bottom here to the top. And it's straight out. You want to make sure that you are getting a good angle with that. So you can see here, I'm going to come in with my comb that out of the way. You can see bottom, that's the long piece. My top guide is right there. So make sure your fingers are right in there. You keep your hand up and you blend it. Blend right to it. You're going to go all the way around the head with that in mind. It helps to keep your elbow up. Don't use your scissors. And all the way around. And you can see, look at that, how we've got a good blend there. Really simple. All the way around. Some spots won't need as much, and some will need a little more. Again, be mindful of the cowlicks in the back and the whorls, because if you cut those too short and they have a bend in the hair, they'll stand up. Down. You can see that line that needs blended. See that? So I'm coming in vertical, straight out, bottom to that top section, blending it. Thank you. Did you know that I actually thought about this when I cut your hair?
No,
I mean, have you ever thought about it all these times that I like have a plan?
No, I just thought it was like second nature. It's pretty impressive.
It is second nature, but that is the plan. Basically like braiding at this point. Okay, so we got most of my handsome husband's hair trimmed and cut. The important part now, you're almost done, is to go through on every side, look at the angles and in lighting and see if it needs any blending. So what I like to do, I take my fine tooth side of my comb. This is a hairstylist comb, but if you have a, I would say like a regular barber comb, most people have like just a regular fine tooth comb. That's like half of this size. Take that and you're gonna come in, this is called scissor over comb, and you're gonna blend, just do a little bit more blending through the sides. It just gets any of the hairs that you miss out of the way. So I like to tilt, come in, and you'll just see any of the hairs and take them away. And clipper. Scissor over comb is what this technique is called. And you're just doing any of the blending of the little hairs that maybe you missed, blending with the clippers and the scissor together. I always ask my clients, like, you know, to look in the mirror, like, how do you like that length? Do you want it shorter, bangs? I think Jordan's always been my pickiest client, but he knows I'm always there. You can either take edgers, if you have a small one, like if your husband has a beard trimmers. Okay, so I'm gonna use my clippers and show you guys how to clean up the edges with your clippers if you don't have an actual edger. So you're gonna make sure your clippers are closed. This is a complete 0, and go ahead and turn them on, and we're gonna clean up the hairline. So I like to even go right at the front, check the sideburns. Always ask your, you know, I would say client, but ask where they like to see them. That's just a courteous thing. So if you don't know with your child or spouse, just check that. And then go ahead, go to the back. I like to keep it slightly, let me show you. I like to keep just a natural line. I follow his natural line. So you just come in, get this as close as I can, and go with his natural hairline. Straight in. Don't apply too much pressure, just a little bit, and you will be great. Follow that through. All the way around. And then if you kind of turn them to the side, pull the ear down and go around the ear. Just like that, and follow it. Keep a steady hand, have confidence, don't doubt yourself, and just go around the ear. And pull it through. Sometimes it's hard to get all the way around the ear with the big clippers. That's why the little ones do come in handy. But you can get it. Let me just double check it. And do the other side. And get any of the neck hair off for them as well. Clean that up.
It's the it's
I'm
something.
gonna do the other side. That's right. Just like that. So, again, following his natural hairline. Up, up. Pull the ear down. And then tilt your clippers to the side like that. And just use the edge to go around the ear. And then again this way. Sideburn check. And then the front as well. Just to get it clean. And then check the neckline. Again, get all the loose, longer hairs. Sometimes they're like just light blonde hairs or darker, longer hairs around the neck. Get that cleaned up. You can even just take the towel off or the cape if you have one and make sure you go to their t-shirt line because usually the hair goes down that far. It's just a courteous thing to do for anyone. Final thing I like to check is always ask them if they see anything they want changed with it. But take a look at their eyebrows and see if they need just a slight trim. I know that might scare some of you, but if you're home and you have your scissors and a comb, just go ahead. And this scared him the first time I did it.
I don't like it right now this time.
It makes him nervous every time. He hates it. But it's part of grooming. So, and it's nice to do if you're a hairstylist or not. You just take the fine tooth comb, come in, and you can see. Can I get closer? Here, go closer. Yeah, come in. You can see those long hairs. You've got a guard there, and you just cut the long ones out. That way, as I call it, you don't have old man eyebrows coming through. And it's taken care of. Pretty simple. That one didn't even need it. So, just courteous thing to do. So, and then style it from there. I think he usually puts like a pomade, like texturizing cream in. I am going to recommend the Kennis texturizing paste. It's a great product. I'm going to link that. It's actually to my sister's salon out of Columbus, Ohio. They are shipping orders over $50. They have amazing products. So you can reach out to her or me for those product information, and she can even help consult you on what products you need. They are fabulous, the best products ever. They have a chemist that makes and formulates all their products. So if you can't get your favorite products right now or want to support a local business, I'm going to give you that link. And that will help support that business, and also my sister, who's an awesome hairstylist as well. So I hope you all are staying healthy and well. Thank you for following the tutorial. I feel like we should style it real quick.
It looks good. That's good.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay. But he's probably just going to shower. You can towel off and use baby powder to get the hair off, but he'll just hop in the shower because we're home. But thank you for watching. If you guys have any other questions, I am very happy to help. I love teaching. I was an educator as well for several years doing hair, and I like helping people. And I want to put a smile on people's faces. So stay well. Do you have any words?
That's it. Best looking furloughed enterprise employee out there right now. So God bless, stay safe, and
Stay well.
cut those ugly haircuts you guys got going on right now.
Bye. Oh, I messed it up.